Welcome back, friends, and warm hello if you're new here. In today's video, I'm sharing a beautiful roundup of all of my recent high-end DIY dupes inspired by Pottery Barn, McGee Co, Crate and Barrel, and Olive Atelier, all in one place. If you love the look for less, you're going to love these elegant, budget-friendly DIYs that bring timeless, designer style into your home without the price tag. I'm Sonia, and this is DIYs with Sonia, your cozy corner for high-end inspired decor, seasonal DIYs, and home styling made simple and affordable. For my regular viewers, I've added chapters below so you can easily check if you've missed any of these recent projects. And if you're new here, I hope you'll get inspired and enjoy the full video. I know you're going to love these look for less. Don't forget to subscribe if you love high-end DIYs on a budget and tap the like button to let me know which project is your favorite. Let's jump in. These framed arm prints I found at Goodwill for just $3.99 each. I picked up two, but for today's project, I'll be working on one of them. Now, I actually really like the print inside. It has a beautiful home architecture in it, but the one inside that I found once I opened the frame up, it had a soft summery feel that I thought was so pretty. But the frame itself needed a little refresh. My plan was to keep the print and give the frame a completely new look. To start, I grab my knife, the same one I always keep in my DIY kit. I don't use a new one each time. This one has been with me through a lot of projects. I carefully loosened up the back and removed the artwork. And here's where I was pleasantly surprised. The print on the back was even better than I thought. It's absolutely perfect for summer decorating, so I made sure to hold on to it. Now, just a quick heads up, the camera angle was a bit off-center during this part. I didn't realize it until editing, so thanks for bearing with me on that. As for the frame, I had a couple of ideas in mind, but I finally decided on spray painting. I used a beautiful leather brown shade. It looks like a creamy milk chocolate and gives a real rich base. After covering the whole piece with a solid coat, I wanted to add a little character, so I wrapped a Kleenex, or just you could use also just a baby wipe, around a pair of scissors and lightly rubbed off some of the paint off the raised edges. This helped lighten those areas and give them a more natural worn look. Once the first layer dried, I went back in with the Rust-Oleum Nutmeg spray paint. Here's the trick: you have to work in sections and you have to work fast. I'd spray a section with nutmeg, then immediately go in with a dry chippy brush and brush it out with soft, inconsistent strokes. This technique created a beautiful faux wood grain effect, and I was honestly amazed at how it transformed the frame. I repeated this process on all four sides, and when everything was completely dry, I reassembled the frame. I taped the artwork to the backing, popped the cardboard back in, and pushed the little nails down to secure it. And look at this transformation. It looks like a custom piece just you'd pay 40 or more for in a store. The best part, I can switch out the print for different seasons, which make it such a versatile piece of home decor. Next up, this lamp I picked up from Temu. I absolutely love the shape and the overall design, but it just wasn't working in my space. I think the pale rattan color was throwing me off. So out came the nutmeg spray paint again. I taped off the light bulb and any exposed electrical parts, then gave the entire lamp a good even coat. If you're enjoying these transformations so far, make sure to give this video a thumbs up. It really helps my channel grow. And if you love high-end look for less, don't forget to subscribe and tap that notification bell so you never miss a new DIY. I've got tons more budget-friendly home ideas coming your way. And let me tell you, the color change made all the difference. It now feels warm, cohesive, and fits so much better into my space. It's amazing what a simple can of spray paint can do, especially when you're trying to blend different textures and tones into your decor. Speaking of spray painting rattan, I also gave this thrifted basket a makeover. Now, full transparency, my camera wasn't recording during the actual painting process. Not sure what happened, but I still wanted to share the results. Here's what it looked like after, and here's what it looked like before. Both versions are nice, but I personally love how the new color ties into my overall aesthetic a bit more. It's a subtle change, but sometimes those are the ones that make the biggest impact. I picked this basket up for $3.99, and now it looks like something you find in a boutique for triple the price. Finally, I found these two candlesticks at Value Village for just $2.99. They had great shape, but I wanted them to look more antique, more collected. I started by spray painting them with metallic gold for a full base coat. Once that dry, I added a very light misting of antique bronze and then a few touches of black spray paint just in random spots to give it some patina. The result is the gorgeous aged brass look, elegant, timeless, and perfect for layering into your year-round decor. I can't wait to start styling with these. I'm kicking things off with this vase. It had this chicken wire style cage over it and made it look like a little bit more industrial, but I saw potential. I've had it for years. It was recently tucked away in storage, and when I came across this gorgeous boat ride vase on Pottery Barn, this stunning moody blue with rusty looking base, I knew exactly what I wanted to do. That one is normally $149, and even on a clearance, it's still $118.99. But mine basically free and about to get a serious glow up. First order of business was to remove that cage. Couldn't find my wire cutters, story of my life, so I grabbed some shears instead. The wire was soft, so it actually came off pretty easily. Once I got the cage off, I pulled out the vase, gave it a good clean because wow, it was dusty, and took it outside to start the transformation. For the rustic base, I used a glossy leather brown spray paint. I sprayed the bottom third or so of the vase, leaving a little extra in case I needed to blend it later. Then I brought it back in and grabbed one of my all-time favorite blues, a Busan Blue by Annie Sloan. It's rich, it's elegant, and that chalky finish gives glass that beautiful ceramic texture. I painted the rest of the vase, stopping just above the brown base using my Dixie Belle's Best Dang brush. Once it was dry, I wanted to soften it a bit and add a worn-in feel, so I mixed up some watered-down white acrylic paint. You can totally use white wax for this step too, but honestly, most people have acrylic paint on hand. Mine was towards the end, so I just added water directly to the bottle and mixed it up. I squirted it on the vase first, but I didn't love the way that was going, so I dabbed it on with paper towel, blending it until it looked like it had always been there, like it was meant to be this way. Then I sealed it with clear gloss spray to give it that polished, high-end sheen. And here it is. This might be one of my favorite vase flips yet. It's giving elegant coastal summer vibes, and I love how versatile it is year round. And if you're loving this Pottery Barn dupe already, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. It really helps more people find these budget-friendly ideas, and it lets me know you're into these kinds of transformations. Alright, now let's move on to the second project. I've had this old wooden sign from Hobby Lobby just waiting for a second life, and when I found this beautiful late Aurora rice paper from Dixie Belle, Hello, instant inspiration. I've seen framed art pieces like this everywhere lately. Pottery Barn, Crate and Barrel, McGee Co, Restoration Hardware, and they're all in the 300 to 400 range. But we're making ours for around $21. I started by slightly sanding the frame um, just to scuff it up. It didn't seem like it had top coat, but I wanted to be sure the paint would stick. Then I brushed on Dixie Belle's chalk mineral paint in burlap, a warm neutral. Before it dried completely, I went over the frame with a damp paper towel to soften and lift some of the paint, giving it a slight weathered look. Once it was dry, I applied a layer of gator hide as my adhesive, and I opened up the rice paper and took a moment to eyeball exactly where I wanted the design to sit within the frame. I didn't measure too precisely. I just played around with the placement until it felt balanced and visually appealing. Once I was happy with the positioning, I gently laid it down and started smoothing it out, working from the center outwards to remove any bubbles or wrinkles for a clean, seamless finish. I really needed a proper smoothing tool, but I made it work with one of those old Pamper Chef scrapers. After I had paper where I wanted it, I brushed on another layer of gator hide to seal it in. Once it dried, I trimmed the edges very carefully with scissors and a knife because, of course, I couldn't find my craft blade when I needed it. And look at it now. It turned out so elegant and high-end. Definitely one of those pieces that looks like you spent way more than you did. Now for the last DIY, it was actually a Pottery Barn piece to begin with. I found this wooden serving board at a garage sale for just $3. It's the same size as the current $249 footed board Pottery Barn sells, just a different shape. I wanted to give it that vintage reclaimed look you see in their catalog spreads, so I started by sanding off the old finish using my orbital sander with an 80 grit pad. I did not want it to bore you with that, so I just did it off camera. Once it was clean and bare, I applied 2 coats of Dixie Belle Voodoo Gel Stain in Whiskey Barrel. This is a water-based gel stain. I love how deep and warm this color is. And then I sealed it with gator hide using a sponge applicator. I'm not planning to use it for food, it's more for styling, so sealing gives that rich finished look without worrying about durability. And that's it, 3 completely different Pottery Barn dupes, all with an elevated designer feel without the designer price tag. If you enjoy these projects and want more high-end DIYs on a budget, make sure to subscribe and hit that bell so you don't miss the next one. Let's kick things off with a thrifted frame makeover. You might recognize this frame from a few videos back. A sweet subscriber even mentioned the name of the Canadian artist whose work was inside. I had purchased 2 of these at the thrift store. I will leave the link to that video down below if you're curious. First, I carefully removed the nails holding the frame together because I was excited to see what surprise print might be on the reverse. Last time I found a beautiful summer scene, and this time it was a charming Christmas print. I'll definitely be using that during the holidays, but for now I'm going with the soft landscape artwork that came with it. As you may know, framed art can be pricey, especially from stores like McGee Co, where the Sage Shores print was my inspiration. To get that look, I took the frame outside and sprayed it with my favorite metallic gold spray paint. I've tried several brands like Rust-Oleum and they're all fairly similar, but this one gives the richest finish. Once the frame have dried, to add some vintage charm, I use black acrylic paint. I wet a blue paper towel, yes, the industrial kind that no one in my house dares to steal from my craft stash, and dab the black paint in onto the frame. Then flip the towel to lift some of it off. This back and forth layering creates that aged antique look without obvious patterns. Once dry, I reassembled the frame and I can't get over how high-end and designer-inspired it looks, all for just a few dollars. Next up is a bust candle holder I grabbed at HomeSense for just $13. I originally used it as is, but I saw an opportunity for stunning transformation inspired by McGee Co. Hastia bust, which retails for over $100 even on sale. I cleaned it thoroughly and painted it using Dixie Belle's all-in-one mineral paint in Sandcastle, applying it with a bristle brush to get into every little detail. This paint is so rich and smooth, one coat was all it took. Speaking of Dixie Belle, I'm thrilled to share that I've recently joined their YouTube creator team. I'll be contributing monthly with furniture makeovers and creative DIYs, and I love for you to check out their channel too. It's full of inspiring creators doing amazing things with paint and other supplies. I want to take a quick pause and let me know in the comments which of today's project is your favorite, and don't forget to subscribe for more high-end inspired DIYs coming your way each week. And now let me tell you a little bit about a game changer, this Dixie Belle Scrubby. It removes paint, oil, grease, and more, not only from my hands, which I never protect with gloves, but also from brushes. Mine feel brand new after using it. And what do you guys think? I love how this candle holder transformed, and it's such a great dupe for the McGee Co. one. And finally, let's talk about this vase transformation. It was a clearance find from HomeSense that I couldn't quite make work anymore despite loving the original color. Then I stumbled across the McGee Co. Natalie vase, a gorgeous glossy brown piece that caught my eye. That's when I remembered I had a leather brown glossy spray paint on hand, and the wheels started turning. I gave the vase a fresh coat, spraying from a good distance to avoid drips. After a second pass to cover any missed spots, I ended up sealing it with a clear gloss top coat. And wow! The result is chic, modern, and totally high-end. It's currently in my master bedroom, but it might migrate as I decorate for fall. Let's kick things off with this metal milk can I thrifted years ago. It's had a few lives. It was once a funky green, then black, and then spray painted silver. But for the last 2 years, it's been just sitting in storage until now. I wanted to give it a whole new life, inspired by the aged, earthy looks of Olive Atelier's Pottery and other European style urns. The shape isn't as an exact match, but it was the perfect base for this transformation. To start, I had glued jute rope around few areas to mimic the rigid details you often see on those old world pots. I placed the rope where there were already seams and where edging would naturally appear. Then I mix some plaster of Paris from Dollarama with water to create textures and cover any writing or old paint. Using a wide brush, I applied it generously over the whole piece, then used a smaller brush to get into the crevices, especially around the handles. One coat was enough to do the trick. Once dry, I lightly sanded the high spots to soften the texture and create more dimension. After brushing away the dust, it was time to paint. I used Dixie Belle's Burlap Mineral Chalk Paint with their Big Dang brush. It went on beautifully and one coat gave me full coverage. But since I was working outside, the paint dried quickly, so I spritzed it with water and then I rubbed garden dirt. Yup, real dirt. It gave me that weathered old world finish that I absolutely love. Once dry, I brushed off the excess dirt and admired this gorgeous transformation. You can seal it with the matte spray finish if you'd like, but I kept mine natural. And here is the finished piece, elegant, aged, and it cost me nothing but a little time and creativity. Next up is another rescue using what I had on hand, a pizza peel. I had turned it into a tray by cutting off the handle. Even without the handle, it's a perfect dupe for Olive Atelier's aged breadboards, which are simple, rustic, and full of character. To start, I sanded the piece down to its raw state using my orbital sander. There was only a light sealant, so it went quickly. I also sanded heavier in some spots to give it that time-worn, well-loved look. If you're loving these high-end DIY dupes and want more budget-friendly inspiration, tap the like button and let me know in the comments which piece you'd love to recreate. Then I used a metal spatula to carve in some organic gouges and scratches, those little imperfections that give character and history. After cleaning off the dust, I used Dixie Belle's water-based gel stain in Whiskey Barrel. I sprayed the board lightly with water and then applied the stain using a sponge. I followed with another spritz of water to help blend and spread it evenly. Okay, can we just talk about yard sales for a second? I've been out almost every weekend lately hunting for hidden gems, not just for my DIY dupes and home decor projects, but also for my home daycare. I'm not sure if you all know this, but for my full-time job is actually being a home daycare provider, and I've been doing it for almost 30 years with just a short break a few years ago. I absolutely love finding unique pieces at yard sales, things with great shape or character to just need a little love. Sometimes it's an old pot that becomes a gorgeous high-end style vessel, and other times it's a vintage toy or a book that fits perfectly into my daycare setup. It's honestly the thrill of the hunt that keeps me going. You never know what treasures you'll find sitting in someone's driveway for just a few dollars. So next time you're out driving on a Saturday morning, follow those signs. You might just find your next DIY project or the perfect addition to your space. Once they're dry, I use antiquing wax to deepen the gouges and gave it a more authentic age effect. A light hand is key. You just want to whisper the wax into these distressed areas. I have to say, even though I'm fairly new to using Dixie Belle's Voodoo Gel Stain, it has quickly become one of my go-to products. It's a water-based gel stain that's so user-friendly even for beginners. It's incredibly easy to use and gives you amazing control over the finish. It goes on super smooth, blends beautifully, and dries quickly without a sticky residue. Whether you're working on raw wood, layered finishes, or even trying to achieve that well-worn antique look, the Voodoo Gel Stain adds rich, buildable color that enhances all those gorgeous details. Plus, because it's water-based, cleanup is a breeze and you can easily thin it out with a little water for a more subtle, washed-out effect. It's truly a game changer for DIYers who want that high-end look with minimal effort. Then I added another layer of stain to blend everything together. I let it dry and style it in my kitchen. It's no longer a pizza peel, it's now a gorgeous statement piece with vintage charm. Last but not least, this ripped oval urn that's been through several makeovers over the years. It even had a lid once, but it broke. Still, I wasn't ready to give it up. The inspiration for this piece came from Olive Atelier's ribbed oval urn that they have, that is a similar looking style to what I have, just a different look. So I gave the one last chance to mine with a coat of the same Dixie Belle Burlap chalk paint. Again, one coat was all it needed for smooth full coverage. One thing you'll see me reach for in almost every DIY project, whether I'm flipping furniture or transforming home decor, is chalk paint, and for good reason. I absolutely love using chalk paint, not just for furniture makeovers, but for everything. It has incredible coverage, even over tricky surfaces like glass, metal, ceramic, or thrifted decor with old finishes. No priming or sanding. Yes, please. Chalk paint has this gorgeous matte finish that instantly makes a piece look more high-end and custom. It's so forgiving and easy to work with, perfect for layering, distressing, or even creating texture. And because it dries quickly, I can get through projects faster, which is huge when you're juggling multiple DIYs. Whether I'm giving new life to an old urn, adding character to a vase, or even revamping seasonal decor, chalk paint is always my go-to. It helps me turn ordinary finds into elevated, high-end inspired pieces that look like they came straight out of the designer catalog. Once you try it, you'll be hooked too. Once it dry, I applied a coat of clear wax. Then, while the wax was still tacky, I brushed on Dixie Belle's dirt, a great alternative if you don't want to use actual dirt or coffee grounds. I used a brush and paper towel to blend it into crevices and high points, adding more wax where needed to soften areas that looked too heavy. The result is this beautiful aged texture finish that looks straight out of the European antique market. And there you have it, 3 Olive Atelier inspired high-end DIYs using decor I already had. These were so fun to bring to life, and I hope they inspired you to see your old decor in a new way. Which transformation was your favorite? Let me know in the comments below. I love hearing what you think. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe to DIYs with Sonia for more high-end looks for less, vintage-inspired decor, and thrifty transformations. Hit that like button, share it with a friend, and I'll see you in the next one.